The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, Phenomenal Women, featuring in-depth interviews with today's most inspiring women. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Phenomenal Women.
To help you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that even while you're working, I need somebody else who's still by ship. Oh, we're on? Oh. Well, there you go. Well, happy Friday. I didn't even hear him say anything. Well, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Apparently, I was not aware, and I did not communicate well with the engineer, but that's all right, because we're professionals, and I'm just going to roll right in. There you go. So, I'm Ashida, Onrae. Welcome to Phenomenal Woman. I have my host, Tara Johnson.
Hi, how you doing today?
This is epic. This is
we
so
keep
funny.
Rolling.
Yeah, we're going to keep rolling. All right, so let's get into our Phenomenal Women. We have some amazing women to talk about this week, especially one of my favorites.
Oh, I think favorite of us all.
Yes.
And let me ask everyone just to get started. And it's a riddle for you too, Ashida.
Uh-huh.
What does 3 breasts and a video game have in common?
3 breasts and a video game have in common. What?
Angela Bassett.
All right.
There we go. Angela Bassett has had a pretty exciting week. FX announced that of all the shows it's ever done, American Horror Story, this last season, Freak Show, was their #1 most viewed television series ever, of everything that they've ever done, including the 6th and final season of Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, wow.
And who is one of the main characters on that show? Angela Bassett. She plays the character Desiree Dupree, and she is the woman with 3 boobs. And also it seems as if she has, and you'll love this, an abnormally large clitoris. I know you love that. And they talk about that. They talk about that on the show.
People gonna think I'm gay.
Well, no, but I mean,
y'all know you're gonna love this. A large clitoris.
well,
it's like,
no,
okay.
I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it that way.
Okay.
But American Horror Story Freak Show has 12.64 million viewers, which is the largest viewing audience ever. So of course they're coming back for another season, and Angela Bassett's going to be back as Desiree Dupree with her 3 boobs again. But even more exciting than that, if you're at all a gamer, maybe you've heard of the E3 conference that was this past week here in Los Angeles. And if you're not, E3 is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, and it is an annual video game conference. And Angela Bassett was there because she is going to portray a new character in a video game. Tom Clancy has a series of video games called Rainbow Six Siege, and Six is the character and the leader of all the players in this terrorist organization. The other 5 versions of this installation have the Six character has been portrayed by a man, but not this time. They wanted a female, and they picked Angela Bassett.
Nice.
So she is the first time she's going to be a female portraying this type of character. And they asked her, she did an interview, and they asked her how she felt about doing something like this, and she said, I don't have much experience with video games, especially not at this high level. Whenever I get an opportunity to go in another direction, I do. I'm very aware of media and women in media and the way we come across. I thought this would be a very strong look as a woman and as a black woman. For myself, it's about keeping current. I just wanted to have an opportunity to be a part of something like this. So the game is coming out in October, and you should look out for her. And I mean, Angela Bassett's been around for so long. She's played so many strong characters. She's done everything from being in Malcolm X to What's Love Got to Do with It. She was in one of my favorites, which I know you watch every Saturday on Lifetime just like I do, or VH1 now, The Jacksons, The American Dream. She played Catherine. What is your favorite Angela Bassett role?
My favorite? What's Love Got to Do with It?
What's
And
Love-
it would have been another favorite if she was cast as Storm in the X-Men, because that's Angela Bassett, in my opinion, because in the cartoon, Storm is fierce.
No doubt.
And I love you, Halle, no shade, but I'm just saying that she just seems to play Storm very soft, and that's not how Storm is in the comic books or in the cartoon.
Right.
So that would have been my other favorite, but, you know.
Well, I get that. And you're not alone. There's tons of things online with I wish Angela Bassett would have portrayed Storm.
Yes.
But again, Halle Berry, no shade.
Yeah.
You can come on the show. We can talk about it.
Right.
You're more than happy. We're more than willing to have you here.
Yes.
For Angela Bassett, when she played Betty Shabazz in Malcolm X, she said, "This is it for me. I'm not going to get another role that's going to be as interesting and as fascinating to me." But lo and behold, right after that, she got What's Love Got to Do with it. And she is very, we talk about her playing these strong characters, and she's very deliberate in her picking of roles. She says she wants to be a strong woman, and what she said is, that image is I like to put out there, and those are parts I'm attracted to, but not, iron fist kind of strong, just self-assured. I'm nice too. She's turned down roles which are viewed to be demeaning because this is a career about images.
Yes.
You put an image out there and it lasts forever. I'm a black woman from America. My people were slaves in America, and even though we're free on paper and in law, I'm not going to allow you to enslave me on film, in celluloid, for all to see. So she knows what she's doing when she picks her roles, and she wants to put a particular kind of, role out there as a strong black woman. Let me ask you.
As she should.
As she should. Let me ask you. For women out there who are trying to decide, let's just be honest. We're in Hollywood. We're women of a darker hue. And there's not tons of roles for us all the time. How do you feel about, do you, one, try to get in the game and take whatever role you can get? Or do you become more selective and try to take a stand, even if that means I don't get cast?
Well, here's the thing, and that's a good question, and it's tough because when you're first starting out, you almost have to build a name for yourself, and then you can work on being selective.
Right.
Which is what a lot of actors do.
Absolutely.
Because you got to pay the bills and the rent and stuff like that. So I think that starting out, you take what you can get. Now, yes, you may turn down roles that are, have nude in it and nudity clause, or roles that maybe affect you where it's maybe smoking, where you probably have kids and you don't want to do that,
right,
or something where it's abusive, you don't want to do that. But I think for the most part, you just got to go out there and do what you got to do. And then once you've established your career, then you can be a little bit more selective,
right,
on what roles you may play.
Right.
So for me, I know that I could not play a weak woman. For me, I couldn't be in For Colored Girls. I couldn't do it. Because I and I know as an actress you have to go into the role,
right? Whatever the
role is, and that shows your strength and diversity, and to figure out like, hey, she can play this, she can play that. But I know me personally, that would be one role that I could not do.
Right.
I'd rather be a lesbian.
No shade to lesbians.
No shade to I'm just saying, shade to lesbian, but
right.
I'm just saying that's a stretch for me because I'm not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I know that I could not be weak like For Colored Girls. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, I know. I think for me, it would be exactly what you're saying.
Or a killer or something. Like Monster.
Like Monster.
I can do that. I'd rather do that.
That was that's such a complete change of character, appearance. That's like a challenge.
Right.
For me, I don't feel like being yet another black woman prostitute on the corner, being prostitute number 3 is that much of a stretch. And I'm not putting down anyone who's played that role,
right,
or done that or done anything like that, because like you were saying, you have to do what you have to do to get into the industry. But I do think there's a certain message that you're someone's star at all times, right? So to pick whatever role you pick, even if no one else in Hollywood knows you, your mama know you, the deacon at church knows you, and you know yourself. So pick roles. I think you have to pick roles that you feel comfortable with. And if that happens to be for you, hole on the corner, whatever, that's fine in order to get what you
I'd rather play the hole on the corner than For Colored Girls.
Yeah, I know for me, I couldn't play just any type. I couldn't play any type of role.
I was angry after I finished watching that movie. And I love Tyler Perry, I do, but I was really, literally angry after watching that movie.
I watched it, I will say, for the very first time a couple of weeks ago, and I almost didn't make it through because it was just so much. Women bring so much. But
it was almost man-bashing, almost to the point where there was just no hope at all. It showed literally no hope. I'm like, okay, I know the tide is going to turn But it didn't.
It didn't. That was
all
not
the way to the end.
That was not a tide turner.
No, that was awful.
But I have to say, speaking of picking roles, and Halle Berry again, Halle Berry's role that she won the Academy Award for Monsters Ball, Angela Bassett was offered that role, but she turned it down because of the sexual content and the nudity. And went on, Halle Berry took it and won an Academy Award. Who knows what would have happened if Angela Bassett would have portrayed it? I don't know.
Right.
But that's how Hollywood, that's what happens in Hollywood. But, you know, Angela Bassett did Tina Turner and What's Love Got to Do with It and won numerous awards.
Right.
Had fantastic arms. I still want to know what she did to get those arms to this day.
Her and Brandy.
Yeah.
Brandy Norwood got some nice
we
arms.
Talked about that.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you pick and choose, and what's for you is what's for you. But Angela Bassett is doing her thing. Pick up the game when it comes out in October. I mean, hopefully we'll see her. I mean, this game is predicted to be the biggest in the series.
Oh, wow.
I'm not one in the video gaming world. If anyone out there is, let me know what you think of the game. Let me know what you think of Angela Bassett. And also let us know what you think about our question about the type of roles you would choose if you were an actress in Hollywood.
Absolutely. And speaking of nice arms and game,
there we go.
I read about this basketball player, and I was so taken aback by her story that I really wanted to showcase it because I think it's amazing what she's doing. And I'm talking about WNBA player Tina Charles.
All right.
And I'm just so proud of her, and I'm loving this story. She will donate half of her $100,000 salary. And she started a nonprofit because her aunt died from multiple organ failure in 2013. So she started a nonprofit called Hopi's Heart, and it's basically a foundation where she started it, for one, in honor of Wes Leonard, a high school basketball player who died of sudden cardiac arrest in 2011 after hitting a game-winning shot.
Oh, wow.
And you hear about these stories so much when, these athletes are out there playing, and all of a sudden their heart is not strong enough, they have a condition, and they just die right there on the court. And it's really, really sad. And sometimes, they catch it early, where now after they go and they see their physician, they'll say, well, you can't play anymore.
Right.
So it's really sad on both ends, but at least, when you catch it early, at least you have your life still.
That's true.
But I just love the fact that she was so touched by it and honored it in his name. So basically, this is what the nonprofit is. It provides health education, CPR training, and what's really amazing is that she also provides automatic external defibrillators.
Oh, wow.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, defibrillators.
Yeah, defibrillators. AED, which is the shortcut for it, for schools and communities and recreation centers.
That's fantastic.
So that's fantastic. So over the past few years, Tina Charles has bought 142 AEDs for communities in need. She plans to use this season's $50,000 contribution to buy more and fund her expansion into Europe, where she'll donate 16 AEDs in July.
That's fantastic.
That is amazing.
That's truly amazing.
I love it. And here's a quote that she said. People ask me why I want to do this and provide every team, why I want to do this and provide every team with the AEDs, and I tell them that I think the best joy of humility is to put the interests of others over yourself.
That's fantastic.
And that's so hard, and especially nowadays in the light of, all of the stuff that's going on, in the world today. It's just so nice to read about someone who's doing something amazing. And she said, taking an interest in others is key in my life.
I have to say a couple of things. One, I want to say it's hard to give up 50% of anything.
It is.
And we know for a fact.
It's hard paying a bill.
How about that? And we know that there are tons. I mean, the NBA Finals were last week, right? I don't want to talk about who I was going for. I love LeBron, but whatever. But I will say, we know that so many players in the NBA make millions and millions of dollars a year. So if you're making $20 million and another $20 million in endorsements, and you're taking home $40 million, and you give $5 million or something away, that's like a tax break to you, right? But for you to bring home $100,000, and that's a six-figure salary.
Right.
That's more than the majority of people in America make. But for what she does, and compared to what men are doing the same thing, it's really not a lot. And to give away 50% of that to other people.
Yes.
And you think about all of these gymnasiums and all of these summer basketball leagues all over the country where you have these kids who are running up and down the court for hours, overheated. Sometimes they don't get the right medical attention and health screenings. So you don't know if they have heart issues. You know they're not getting the right water breaks. We hear about it every summer, about these kids in these summer camps who are not getting the right hydration. And lo and behold, somebody has some kind of heart condition.
Right.
To know that that defibrillator is there is an amazing thing. I think it's something that's so overlooked, but so necessary, and I commend her for then writing the check of half of what she's taking home.
Absolutely. It's
an amazing thing. It's an amazing sacrifice.
I think it's great. I read the story and I loved it, and I said, you know what, Tina Charles, you rock, killing the game.
She
and
is.
This is something that we don't think about, and is so needed.
Yeah. We don't think about it until
it's too late. Right.
It's too late. Because I remember that. I love 30 for 30, and I can't remember that 30 for 30 story about the college basketball player who did just that. He threw up the winning shot, passed out on the court, and passed away. If anybody out there can remember who I'm talking about, let me know. He's a pretty famous basketball player. And I mean, for him, I think they said by the time he hit the court, he was gone. But there's so many other people out there who can be saved and who can be helped with defibrillators, and we don't think about this.
Yeah.
But it's so absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I just love it. Yes, I'm so excited. And speaking of other rock stars saving the lives, you have an amazing story of some other women who are saving lives.
You know, when you think of some of the most difficult positions in, professions, I think of, and we can say whatever we want to say about them given what's happened in today's environment, but being a police officer comes up, very top of the list. And being a firefighter is one of them, to me, hardest professions ever. And something when I was growing up, you go through I want to be a dancer. And I never said I want to be a firefighter.
Right.
Just never said I want to be a firefighter. Because it's just a dangerous type of, your life is about not only saving people, but you're saving people in fires.
Right.
We see fire people doing, like getting cats out of tree. I don't think that's all they do. They actually fight fires and save people. So to see someone doing that is a commendable, but what about an African-American woman, the first African-American woman to be the chief of a metropolitan fire department? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Chief Teresa Deloyd Reed. And she has been the fire chief in Oakland for the past 3 years. And the reason I wanted to bring her up as my phenomenal woman of the week is because she's been there for 3 years, but she's made it her passion to make sure that they bring more women and bring more women on as firefighters. U.S. Bureau of Statistics says that of all the firefighters in the country, 4% are women, and of that 4%, 6% of the 4% are black. In her department, in Chief Reed's department, she has 42 people. 10 people in her 42-person department are women. And she's doing everything she can to help bring more women on. In her mind, what she says is, being the first to open a door is only good if you can hold it open wide enough for others to walk through. Yeah. And that's what she's doing. So we know in order to be a firefighter, it's a grueling physical test. She has brought in different Stairmasters and different equipment to help women who want to be firefighters get ready and train and prepare for the test. She's also said, I want to make sure that when it's time for me to step down, there's some women of color who are in place to take my place. Right. It's all about passing it along. So the San Francisco Magazine just did a big story on all the civil servants of Oakland and the San Francisco area, and they did a write-up of the Oakland Fire Department. And so we have pictures of some of the other beautiful women who are female firefighters in Oakland saving lives every single day. I think it's a selfless profession. I think you are opening doors and helping people so much. I mean, way beyond we even think about. And to have a black woman at the helm of that running things, that's my phenomenal woman of the week.
Amen.
That is my phenomenal woman of the week. And she's been awarded numerous times over. She's won the NAACP Henry Gage Senior Excellence in Leadership Award. She's been awarded from the International Association of Black Professional Firefighters. It goes on and on and on. So she has 25 years of service as being a firefighter. She's like, I ain't going nowhere yet. I'm going to make sure we get some other ladies in there being firefighters and doing their thing, and I'm going to groom the next person. That's my phenomenal woman of the week.
Awesome.
Fire Chief Reed. Yes.
And I think we have some pictures of the other women,
do have some
so we can
of the
show.
Other women. Yeah.
It's amazing.
We have
that.
Paula Vaughn, who's another woman, and there's 10 women. We have a couple. So Daria Diaz is also another beautiful woman who is a firefighter. I love the hat. Let me tell you something. Women have the ability to make everything beautiful. Not that men don't, but even with no makeup,
she
has no makeup. It's just the strength that she exudes in the job that she's doing. And we're so used to seeing men wear this hat. Just to see her and the seriousness on her face, you know she's completely holding it down. And we also have Shonda Leary, who's another one of the firefighters in Oakland, and look at her head to toe. She's ready to go to duty. I salute all the ladies, all the female firefighters out there, regardless of your race, creed, and color. I commend you. It's something I know I couldn't do.
Yeah.
And I thank you for the service that you give.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would just love to ask, what do you do with your hair? You know what I mean? And what do you do when you're on your period? Because she's like ready to do a wildfire. She's like ready to go to combat. And I've always wanted to know, what do you do when it's that time of the month and you out there fighting fires?
The only thing I can say is, and if anybody out there knows more particulars, let us know.
Yes, I'm really curious. I mean, I get the her ponytail, you just put it in a ponytail and you work. You know, but I'm sitting there like, what do you do?
My brother was a fireman.
Yeah.
My brother was a fireman. And you're hanging out at the fire station, being on shift for 48 hours.
Yes.
So, and where I'm from, there was no female firefighter. Like, there were barely a couple of black firefighters. So I was happy to see that. So I never asked him, well, what would you, like, I should have called my brother and said, what did people do when their period was on? I don't know if he'll have an answer.
I'm really curious to know that. You know who else I want to ask that to is to the women who are in the, in the Army who are
in the military.
It's like, okay, you're on the ground, you're fighting, it happens.
What do you do?
What do you do?
I'm sure they're gonna be like, deal with it. But I'm still like, what does that mean? Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And you're in the desert. You're in Iran. You're in a tank.
Yeah, and there is no, let me take it easy because I got cramps. That ain't happening.
Well, yeah, right.
That ain't
but if
going
you're
down.
in a tank, and you got, you know what I mean? So do they pull over? Do you go in? I mean, how does that work? Just curious, just want to know. But speaking of fire, my phenomenal woman of the week is on fire.
She's on fire.
And she slayed this Ebony magazine. I'm talking about Tina Knowles Lawson.
There you go.
Yay! Now, let me tell you guys something. She's 61 years old.
61 years young.
61.
And she's like putting
Slaying
25-year-olds to shame right now.
She looks better than me right now. Seriously. Because I couldn't wear that right now.
Ashida, we love you. You are beautiful.
I got to work it out.
You are beautiful
and when I looked
just
at
the way
her,
you are.
I know, thank you. When I looked at Tina, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to work it out. Because 61 and flawless.
She is.
She is just stunning, and I'm loving this. And I have a great story to share about her, and I'm just so excited. I can't wait to talk about it. So, as you all know, this is Tina. But I'm going to tell a little background story. So at 18, Tina traveled alone to build a life in California. So she returned home to the state later to open up a hair salon called Headliners in Houston at the age of 34.
Wow.
So she's married, she had her babies already. So that's lesson number one, you're never too late to start something.
Never.
So at 34. Despite having 2 small children, the beauty venture was a huge success. And we all know the story that she went into fashion, helped Destiny's Child with their clothes.
I remember that when she used to design their clothes.
Right?
Yeah.
But at 34, she opened up a salon. So please remember that no matter what your age is, no matter if you have children, you are married, whatever it is that you desire to do, go out and do it. Don't let anything hold you back, because you never know where you might end up.
Absolutely. I mean, all the ladies we talked about today, the female firefighters, I'm sure there are people who doubt that they can do their job every single day, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you want it, go for it.
Absolutely. Now, prior to that, Tina had her own quest for stardom, which didn't get any further than a high school band, the Supremes-inspired outfit called Veltonis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But she lived out her dream for a little bit and, had a tiny taste of stardom.
Yeah.
But she rebounded and she said, you know what? I'm married, I have kids, let me figure this out and let me go a different direction. And it all worked out for her. So fast forward up until now, And here she is on Ebony magazine, and they spoke to her, and she said, when I was asked to do the Sexy Forever Ebony magazine cover, my first question was, me? Really? Really me? She said. I had some reservations, but I thought of all the women who tell me daily I have inspired them to live a wholehearted life, which includes your sexuality. I am proud to be 61 years old and not to be putting limitations on my lifestyle. We can still be sexy, vibrant, fashionable, classy, and fly until the day we die.
I heard
That's
that.
what she said. I'm loving it.
I will tell you, I had the pleasure, her husband now, Richard Lawson, has a acting school or studio here in LA, and a friend of mine actually studies under him, and so I went to the play to support my friend, sitting down in like the second or third row. Lo and behold, who walks in? Richard Lawson and his lovely wife. And she looks in person. We hear about it all the time.
Right.
Oh, you see someone in person, they don't look anyway. I was like, well, let me get out of here because clearly I need to get my stuff together. Because she came in there and it was like a light glowing on her. She's absolutely gorgeous in like a black pair of leather stretch pants and a leather jacket. She was absolutely gorgeous. And they were one of the cutest couples I've ever seen. You could tell they were so much in love. She was like getting things off his jacket. It was super cute. I was trying my best not to like celebrity geek out. You know, I'm trying to keep it low and cool. But they were super cute. So much in love. Really happy for them. Role model for me to keep it, hot and sexy at 61.
Absolutely. And, speaking of that, she married in last April, her nuptials. And unfortunately, in 2011, she divorced her longtime husband, Matthew. And speaking of, and I'm saying this because I want to help some other people out there who may feel like, they're going through a divorce and all is lost. But here Tina is on the cover of Ebony magazine, looking fly, remarried, and meanwhile the ex-husband is holding a garage sale selling Destiny Child memorabilia.
I'm not even going to say anything.
Who's winning? Okay, winning. Yes. So that is my phenomenal woman of the week. Absolutely.
I can't even comment on that last one. I can't
hello.
We're going to pray for Matthew Knowles. That's what we're going to do. That's a good Christian thing to do.
Yes, it is.
And wish him the best.
But
absolutely.
Let it be known that she's winning.
She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous, yes.
She's holding it down. And if I can look as good as she looks at 61, anytime in my life, I'll be happy. No, she's a lovely, beautiful woman inside and out, just want to say.
Yes, and the tide always turns. You're not down for long. You're not down and out for long. The tide always turns. And when you read stuff and people always say, oh, well, you know what? That's Tina Knowles. She has all this, the money and the fame. But, they go through hard times, too.
Absolutely.
And, no matter what you have, divorce hurts. But at the same time, we rebound.
It's true.
And we rebound, even if we don't have the fame and fortune as, as what Tina has. We all rebound, and we come back and we go, you know what, I'm better.
Definitely better. And I feel for her because it's her daughter who's in the limelight. She's her mother, and she's had her, she and Beyonce did their line together.
Right.
She's in the public eye, but she's not that person who's like, I want to stand out and be in the public light, but her entire life is on a public stage. Everything she does. And I couldn't imagine going through such a painful divorce and finding out so much about your husband at one time and now ex-husband on such a public stage like that. But she has handled it with grace. Like you said, she's moved on, gotten better.
Yes.
Gotten married, and found love and happiness again.
Best revenge ever. Best revenge ever. And on that note, we are going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
I am so excited to be with you this Friday. Sorry that our intro was a little bit off, but we'll do better next time. Well, I look forward to inspiring you next week. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae, and you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
I'm Tara Johnson, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TJ Wagging Her Tail.
Look forward to inspiring you next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.